could go right always went right.
Yep.
Where the world, the reason they were derisively nicknamed America's team is because they seemed to get every break. They were God's team. Landry was called God's coach.
Started with the Hail Mary.
It did. It started with Roger Staubach throwing it to Drew Pearson. We're going to talk about this later. At Jenny, at Minnesota, in a huge playoff game, and he pushed off. Was it Nate Wright? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he pushed him. He just shoved him and sort of caught it on his hip. And Roger, after the game, termed it the Catholic term Hail Mary because it was a Hail Mary and it caught on. Yep. And we talk about Hail Marys every Monday morning on this show now because of that play. Mm-hmm. They were the luckiest team in the world. Then Jimmy comes in and creates this force field of positivity where everything went right. They got every bounce. They got every call. So remember, that's my Cowboy history.
Right.
And now that's just Jerry alone at the helm.
And every pick was a hit it out the park with every pick he made.
Okay. I got it. You mean Jimmy?
Jimmy, yes.
Okay. I think Jerry contributed, but whatever. Yeah. Now that Jerry's alone at the helm, it just seems like everybody in the franchise is saying, uh-oh, I'm looking over my shoulder because when that guy's in charge, bad stuff happens. So they get no breaks. They get no bounces. All the luck is just bad. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now I'm to my point this morning where I'm saying, damn the torpedoes. I've had enough of this. They're still good enough to go beat the Chargers. That's just me because when I look hard at what I just lost, DeMarcus Lawrence, how many times have you just taken him all apart on this show? How many times have you called him overpaid? He's $20 million a year. How many times you said, where is he? APB for D-Law, right? The law is looking for law, right? Because he's nowhere to be found. How many times have you said that?
Yeah, but
okay,
too many.
Too many times. And I agree with you. And your favorite website, Pro Football Focus, ranked him last year the fourth best edge, not just rusher, but edge player in football. And I'm like, I don't remember that because all I can remember is that Cleveland came into Jerry World and ran for 307 yards. Does he take some blame for that?
Exactly.
Well, he's got to take a little bit of blame.
Baltimore ran for 294 and just took knees.
295, actually. 295.
Arizona.
261 on Monday Night Football at Jerry World. It was D-Law on the field. Yeah, he started every game.
Right.
Okay? Randy Gregory, the other night. You know how much I love him because I only love his potential. I think he's got Pro Bowl potential now that he seems to have gotten himself clean and straight, and I'm knocking on wood for him. He's got COVID. Okay, but the point is he did play on Thursday night at GOAT.
Right.
And he had one good rush early in the game that caught my eye, and I'm like, here we go.
Right.
And then what happened? Nothing happened. He wound up with one tackle the rest of the game. No quarterback pressures, no tackle for losses, zeros across the board.
Right.
But do you even remember him in the game? Well, he played 37 snaps. What happened to all the rest of them? D-Law, he had the one hammer. He hammered the ball out of Rojo's hands, and it was a big play in the game, and I loved it. And he wound up with 5 tackles, which the way they were playing the other night, that was actually pretty great. But he had 0 sacks, 0 tackle for losses, 0 hits on the quarterback.
Right.
Well, they as a team, they had 0 sacks.
Right. Well, Skip, if you take out Gregory, you take out D-Law, and you say, well, they came up empty-handed then, it's not like their backups are better than those guys. Okay, so now you go into Kamara and Basham.
Okay. But
Barsham, excuse me.
Basham.
Basham.
Yeah. Dorrance Armstrong, probably, and Terrell Basham.
I do like him.
Okay.
I do like Armstrong.
You know what? Jerry's raved about him, so I'm saying, okay, let's give him a shot.
Right.
Can he be any worse than zeros across the board? I don't think so.
Right.
So just to remind people, he was a 4th-round pick out of Kansas in 2018, and he did start 3 games last year, and he does have a career 2.5 sacks, big whoop. But the point is, let's give him a shot.
Yeah.
And the only thing I know about Terrell Basham is that we signed him at dirt cheap money, just for bargain basement kind of money as a free agent. And he was a 3rd-round pick of the Colts back in 2017, immediately got cut by the Colts, and he gets picked up by the Jets, and he had a few flashes. He does have a career 7.5 sacks. Okay, so I'll go with that. But the only thing I really know about him is in Hard Knocks. I think it was the 2nd episode. He's doing stand-up comedy, and it was not very funny. Would you agree with that?
I would agree.
Like, I kept wanting to even chuckle. I couldn't even get a chuckle going. Right. But he did impersonate, guess who? DeMarcus Lawrence.
Right.
Well, now he's got to literally be DeMarcus Lawrence.
Right.
So you can do his voice. Can you do his sacks?
Right.
Because listen, D-Law made the Pro Bowl in 2017 and 2018.
Correct.
It seems like years ago,
Right.
but still, can you step in? Maybe so. Maybe he'll give us a little jolt that those guys couldn't.
But Skip, the thing is that D-Law could do, D-Law was really good against the run, although those games that you highlighted wouldn't be indicative of how well he can play against the run.
Were they just running completely away?
No, they weren't running completely away from him because remember the reverse came to his side that ended up being the touchdown to OBJ.
Yep.
I just think the thing is, the question is Basham is a smaller guy who basically the Cowboys love his potential. Is he going to be able to hold up on the run side of it? D-Law was tremendous at the run. He did a very good job. Now, I agree with you. I don't know where this fourth best edge rusher over the entire season. I don't know where that came from.
I don't either.
But okay. But with Gregory and D-Law, Skip, I give you that. You got 4 turnovers, but you still gave up 31 points. Tom Brady still threw for 379, and none of those turnovers came from pressures. It wasn't like you got the ball out of Tom Brady's hand. You hit him and he coughed it up. There was none of that.
You chased him off his spot and he threw a wild pick. Yeah. I didn't see that. Right? Okay, so my point is, new coordinator Dan Quinn, this is a what the hell game to me. This is where you just throw everything out the window and you basically throw the kitchen sink at that young quarterback, and you just blitz the hell out of him. You got Micah Parsons. Just unleash the beast. Just let him fly because he's probably the best rusher on the field, right? The best pass rusher
Skip, you
got.
do realize now, are you willing to rob Peter to pay Paul? Because you got to have to sacrifice the back end. You like Anthony Brown in single coverage? You like those guys other than Trayvon and other than Diggs? You like those guys in coverage?
Okay, do you want slow death or quick death? That's what, I don't. You're up against it now. The odds are screaming that you are what you said in big trouble against Justin Herbert and company. We're going to talk about Mike Williams took a shot at the secondary and Keenan Allen. And they converted 14 of 19 third downs against a really good Washington front.
So this game isn't about your defense. This game is about your offense.
But I'm saying on defense, I give it up to where if I'm Dan Quinn, I'm just gambling all day and all night. I'm just sending people from everywhere.
Skip, that's why you paid Dak the big bucks.
Okay?
You put people away.
Agreed. Okay, so there are lots of ways to skin this cat, so to speak. But one way is to, as Bill Parcells once said before the Giants Super Bowl, remember he said against Buffalo, he said, we've got to, against the K-gun, we've got to shorten the game.
Correct.
Okay, one thing Dak did the other night was he was incredibly deadly accurate with the football.
Right.
Okay? CeeDee Lamb, you cannot drop another pass. You dropped 3 the other night. You made 3 big plays that almost canceled them out, but you can't drop a pass. And little Cedric Wilson's going to be in the slot in place of Gallup. Okay? Catch 6 or 8 balls underneath that get first downs. And obviously, Amari can be Amari. Best route runner in pro football. Maybe he can get loose for a couple of touchdowns. And the offensive line, that Steele kid, he played okay last year.
Right.
I think he could be pretty good. And by the way, I kept raving about Connor McGovern in place of Zach Martin at right guard. He was sensational. Well, guess what he played at Penn State for a whole year? He was the center. Well, what's the weak link in the line right now? It's Biotish. He just, I think he got it handed to him the other night. He is the weak link in that line. What if they quietly have moved McGovern over to center this week? Well, maybe that'll kind of shore it up because Zach Martin is back. I got that going.
He was going against Vita Veda.
Okay.
Vita Veda, and Vita Veda going to hand it to a lot of people.
He's going to push them into the quarterback because he is the biggest, strongest force in the league right now.
Skip, the way I look at it, this is what would concern me. Even if my offense plays well and it's a one-possession game, do you feel comfortable at the end of the game that your guys are